Welcome to another episode of New to Me. I'm Stephen Michael Zach, and today I am checking out the Falconeyes F7 Mark II. Now, first off, here is the technical information. And now that that's done, let's go ahead and pop this thing open. Now, the first thing you get in here is a whole bunch of instructions and warranties and all that fun stuff. And here is the actual unit itself. Now, the first thing you will notice about this is actually an F7 fold body. Basically, what they did was they capped off the two pieces here. So I have a feeling that if you were to open this thing up and remove the cap pieces here, you could probably attach it to one of the halves of the folds. It is exactly the same body. With that being said, it does feel very rock solid. This thing is not going to go anywhere. It is a lot heavier than its original, but all in all, built like a tank. Now, the Falconeyes does have magnets in it, but it is magnet, but the magnets are kind of meh. Just make sure you have a very large surface to magnetize this to, because the magnets are very meh in this. Okay, so looking at the unit, of course, you have this kind of little bit of frosting here. Built like a tank, you only get one mount here. And on the side, your controls, you've got your on-off button, your function up and down and press in button, and you have a designated brightness button, which that's all it does is the brightness, which is very cool. And you get your USB Type-C. And of course, you get a very nice display on the back. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn this thing on. And as you can see, a very nice screen. Now, the first thing you will notice is you get plus minus green, which is fantastic. Now, this is one of three functions I think you're going to be seeing in almost every light nowadays, is the ability to match it to other lights. So that already is fantastic. And this goes all the way up to 9,000 Kelvin and goes all the way down to 2,500 Kelvin. All in all, not bad. And it does go from 0 to 100. And it is, as you can see, it is pretty stepless, which is fantastic. Just all around, it's a very smooth transition, which I love. I hate when you see those little jumps. That kind of bothers me. Pressing the button again, you go into your HSI mode. It is an HSI mode. It works like every other HSI mode, so we're going to skip over that. But it does have a 360 HSI mode, and you do get this nice little graph on the back. And then you get your scenes here, and you can turn your scene on, you can turn it off. You do get your lightnings, you get your TV, you get your candle, which works very, very well. You get your paparazzi, you get this kind of strobe, you get faulty bulb, you get this kind of like work light, construction light. You get something which is like a heartbeat, which is very interesting. You do get police, fire, ambulance. You get your HSI modes. You get a red flash, green flash, blue flash. You get like a kind of a party mode. And then you get like a secondary party mode, and then you get this RGB flash and then off. And the great thing about this is you can actually control the speed and the brightness here, which is very, very cool. So all in all, you do get a lot of control out of this thing. Now, pressing the power button again quickly, you go into yet again another new mode that I think you're going to see on a lot of lights, and that is an a red, blue, and green control. You can individually control the red, green, and blue light, the LEDs on here, which is fantastic. So say I just want to go ahead and make this red. I can go ahead and just bump this up to whatever red color I want, which is very cool. And let's say I want to add some blue to that to make it kind of like a purple color. And there you go. This is much faster than using the HSI mode. That's just my personal opinion. I kind of really like the fact that you can control these individually. Let's say you want to do some green screening. Well, that is very simple. You just go down to the green and you just jack up your green to the color that you want, and you're pretty much good to go. Really love this thing. So that is the plus minus green and the ability to control your red, your blues, and your green are something we are going to be seeing in a lot of lights. Now, pressing the button again, this is another thing you're going to be seeing. Not only do you get 20 Lee gels, but if you press the button one more time, you get 20 Roscoe gels. That is the one thing I am very excited about, is having gels implemented inside the lights. That way you no longer have to cut gels, you don't have to carry them, you don't have to bring them with you. It is fantastic, but you do get 20 of both. You get 20 of the Lee gels and 20 of the Roscoe gels, which is awesome. Pressing the button again, you get kind of your reset ID thing. You don't want to touch that. So press the button and you're back into the main mode. Now, there is a phone app for this, but I will not be going over it because my phone is out of room for apps. It's time for an upgrade, but let's talk about some of the things that come with this light. Now, with this light, you do get this absolutely beautiful case. This is such a step up from the original case that I felt was really, really cheap. You get very nice zippers, you get a nice pocket in the front. It's very, very, very well made. Really love the fact that they include an actual case. Now inside, you're going to get this hot shoe here. You're going to get one of these doohickeys, which I love, which work great. And you're going to get the charging cable. So, and you do get a carabiner on the back, so you can still clip this to your belt. It's not like the old one that had like the belt, the snappy belt loops. Also that case never held everything. This will hold everything. So you do get that. And lastly, you are going to get your diffusion and a grid. And be forewarned, these reek like chemicals horrifically. I would wash these off in the sink or spray them with Lysol. Just maybe not Lysol, but just air these out outside. These are horrifically smelling. I am going to be contacting Falconeyes to let them know these stink and see if I can get these replaced, because they are. It is an awful smell. With that said, let's go ahead and pop this on. Now, one thing I've noticed is that with this is that if you notice, the diffusion goes on this way, but the grid goes on that way. And this is a much thicker grid than the original, which is very cool. But sticking the grid on is very simple and feels like it's not going to go on right, like it's going to fall off, but it doesn't. It works very, very well. Let's go ahead and turn this on. And as you can see, if you're doing some, just to give you an idea of how this, how directional this is, beam angle is pretty good there. Let's go ahead and take this stinky grid off and put on the very stinky, the very, very stinky diffusion here. You probably can rinse these off with soap and water and they won't smell as much. It's just a very pungent and strong smell. And there we go. There is your diffusion. That's how well it diffuses, to give you an idea. And all in all, works fairly well. Their diffusion and grids have always worked very, very, very well. So I'm not surprised that they still work. They're still fantastic. And to give you an idea of the brightness, here it is at 5600 Kelvin at full power. Still very, very bright. You can use it as a hair light or as an eye light or effect. It works very, very well. One other thing to note is that you do get the sticker on the bottom that says warranty void if removed, and the sticker is already falling off. So that's kind of interesting, Falconeyes. Just be aware that you will want to put a piece of Scotch tape over this so it doesn't void your warranty. This is kind of dumb. I don't know why they did this and put such a weak sticker on, but there you go, there you have it. So my final thoughts on this is a very, very nice update. Yes, this is one half of the fold. That's what this is. They basically took one half of the fold and gave it to us. And they make no excuses for it by showing us exactly where it was capped off. All in all, it is rock solid. Now, it is magnetic, but make sure you have a big magnetic surface to stick it to, because if you just kind of, like before, I stuck it on one of these, stuck it on a stand, and as you can see, it really needs the surface because the magnets are in the corners. So make sure you have a good flat surface to magnetize, to slap this against. All in all, really love the updates. It is still super bright. It is super handy. It is a bit heavy, but it is very handy. Now, let's talk about some of the new features, those 3 to 4 new features that I think you'll be seeing in most of the lights. That is the plus minus green and plus minus magenta. That is the built-in gels. You get both Lee and Roscoe, 20 of them, which is fantastic. You get the ability to control the red, green, and blue individually, which is fantastic. No more fumbling with HSI. So there are a lot of interesting features packed in here. Plus, there is a phone app. I'm not going to go over it. Let me know in the notes below if you want me to go over the phone app, and I'll do that in a separate video. I just have to clear some space on my phone. But all in all, very, very solid. Really love these things. I had the original one, which I just sold because I wasn't using it, but really love this thing, and I highly recommend this to anyone. Now, who is this for? How do you use this? It could be a hair light. It could be an eye light. You could use it in the background to light things up. If you're doing product shots, say you're filming a product, you could definitely use this to light up your product. It is a very useful, handy little light, and I find that I've been using a whole bunch of these in very unique ways. Now, it is not as small as the MC and doesn't have a great magnet like the Aperture MC, but it does output a heck of a lot more light and does have a few more goodies built in. So, all in all, a rock solid update to the original. I really love this brand new case. I think that is fantastic. Be forewarned though, you will have to rinse the diffusion off with soap and water. It really smells bad. It smells of chemicals, which is kind of a thing I've noticed with Falconeyes is sometimes their stuff smells, or hopefully, usually the smell dissipates after a while, but it's just really a bad smell, which is why it's in the box. But that's it. Really, really love this thing. I highly recommend it. It is a very useful tool to have in your kit, especially if you're traveling. So that's it. Those are my thoughts, but I want to know yours. So leave your questions and comments in the notes below. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to mash that bell button to be notified when we drop a brand new video. And feel free to use the links below as it helps out the channel. I'm Stephen Michael Zach, and this is New to Me.